Ever get the feeling that life is just unfair? When you think about the people who have been born into riches, who have had to do nothing, yet seem to have an abundance of money and success and happiness. Or those people who have struck the lottery and who have become instant, overnight millionaires. It almost just doesn't seem fair. Then, if like myself, you're one of those people who feel emptiness and some sort of sadness on the inside when you see other people happy and successful, then I urge you to continue watching this video, because that's what we're going to be covering in today's video. One place where we are constantly being bombarded by these news articles and stories about people's success and happiness is, of course, social media, where you see people posting about their fancy homes, cars, watches, clothes, jewelry, and even spouses. Now, as humans, when we see or hear about these stories, we automatically compare it to our own lives, which of course will seem comparatively uneventful, boring, or not as exciting and happy as these other people on social media. Because of course, we can't constantly be happy. That's a real problem. What happens is that we will compare what we have to what other people are flashing on social media. And what people are flashing on social media, 9 times out of 10, will be nicer or better than what we have. And so that hurts us a lot psychologically.
Happiness is peace. It's not pleasure. Right? And everybody thinks happiness is trying to get as much pleasure as you can get. There is nothing more agitating to your mind than extreme pleasure. Right? It's like peace.
And there is so much truth in that. And it causes us a great deal of sadness and emptiness when we compare what we have to what others have. Because it makes you want more, not in a positive way, but in a comparative and negative way. And you see what you have as being lesser than what other people have. And it's almost the opposite of being grateful and having gratitude for what you have. In fact, leading psychologists have linked this comparison to what other people have to profound sadness and emptiness on the inside. So if you do genuinely want to feel happier, the first step is to take a break from social media. Now, whether that's for an entire week or just a day or two, having done this myself, I can honestly say that it's given me a great deal of peace of mind and being just genuinely happier with where I am. And it's removed this constant need to compare what I have with what other people are showing on social media, which I've come to realize has brought me a great deal of unhappiness and sadness on the inside. And if you think quitting social media is a big thing for even just 1 or 2 days, then I urge you to start with quitting it during your spare time. Now, if you think about the time that you, for example, spend in the toilet, spend waiting in traffic, on the tube, waiting in line, what's the first thing that you notice that everybody does? One thing that I found very useful for myself is to carry a book around wherever I go, or to leave a book in those places where I think I'm going to have some spare time, like in the car, on the toilet, or bringing a book with me in the tube. And because as humans, it's very difficult for us to just sit there and do nothing, even though that's very important. But for the time being, having a book and reading is a much healthier option than constantly scrolling social media. So that's the first step I would recommend anyone wanting to take a break. Psychologically, another reason why people might find it hard to quit social media, especially for myself as well, is the fear of missing out. The fear of missing something important that somebody posted, or missing a message that somebody might have sent me on social media. Now, I can safely say that your world will not end if you don't look at your social media for 1 or 2 days, and you will not miss anything that will be life-changing, or it's very unlikely that that will happen. And the upside of stopping this constant scrolling of social media is definitely worth it. The irony of all of this is that people who post on social media are not constantly happy. And the truth of the matter is, people don't post their struggles and their difficult times. You don't see that side of other people.
I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have. That's all they've done.
Now, life is unfair, And when we say unfair, people automatically compare it upwards. We compare ourselves to people who have more than us, whether it comes to money, relationships, happiness, success. But the reality is that there are just as many, if not more people who have much, much less than we do, who will never have the opportunities that you and I have. And so it's very important to be grateful for what you have. And for me, one thing that's helped me overcome this emptiness and sadness on the inside is to do an exercise where every morning, the first thing in the morning, I would force myself to think about 5 things from the previous day that I've been very grateful for. Whether that's something as simple as having a job, being in good health, being able to exercise, to run, to play sports, having very supportive friends and family, and having great health, for example. And it's so important to take some time out of the day. Typically, you'd want to do this at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, and just take some time to really count your blessings and think about the things that you are grateful for. Because if you do this, you will genuinely feel a lot happier throughout the day. And that's why I do it in the morning. And you will take away this comparison. Even if you do scroll on social media, it helps. It will take away this constant comparison of yourself with what you don't have, and it will force your mind to consciously think about the things that you do have where other people might not have. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope that you found this as useful and informative as I have when I first came across it, reading a number of books. And if you did find this useful, please do like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. Until the next one, guys, take care.